We're back. We're back.
Live
Film
and
Camp
direct.
New York, Nico, live on Stimulus TV. What up, Nico?
Yo,
We're back.
chilling, man. How are you?
Film Camp New York, Nico,
Good,
live
man.
on
I'm
Stimulus
good, you know,
TV.
as
What up,
well as-
Nico?
Oh, this is the first time I've seen. I'm actually
man.
watching the feed right now. This is kind of trippy.
Live on
Good,
Stimulus
you know.
TV.
Are you watching?
God, I need to grow this beard back. This looks insane. I look like a fucking little idiot.
Hold on, take the hat off. Are you still on the zero?
No, absolutely not. I'll look way more like a little idiot that way. Damn. Wow, I really need to grow that shit back.
Dude,
My
you look
apologies to
great.
anyone
Talk
watching
about
right now.
You look great.
All right. What's up? What's up, David?
What's going on, man? What's going on? We're gonna watch some films today again, huh?
We're gonna watch some films. I picked out 2 short docs that I made last year. One is Big Mike Takes Lunch, featuring Big Mike Saviello of Astor Place Hairstylists, and then we got Treasures in the Trash, featuring Nelson Molina Sr. I almost said Nelson Mandela Sr. because someone in the IG Live said that, but Nelson Molina Sr. Of Department of Sanitation of New York, and also the Treasures in the Trash collection, which you guys will learn about in his documentary. But 2 docs that I'm really proud of, featuring 2 very good friends, one of whom was a friend before I started filming, which was Mike. I'd known him for a couple years and then decided to make a doc on him. And then Treasures in the Trash features Nelson Molina, who I'd only met briefly before I shot the documentary, but now we're good buddies. And yeah, I'm sure a lot of you have seen these films already, because I promote them to no end. But if you haven't, you're in for a treat. And if you have, just watch them again, and we're gonna have a Q&A with Nelson and Mike afterwards.
Yeah, we got a little special edition thing going with the Q&A afterwards. So once these are done, we're going to play them back to back, and once it's done, we'll be back with a Q&A with some of the subjects from the film. So stick around. But before we get into it, you said you had known Mike for a little while before you decided to make the doc. Tell me a little bit about that process and like what made you decide to go ahead and turn it into a documentary.
Yeah, so, Mike Saviello is the manager of Astor Place Hairstylists. He's been the manager there for about 40 years, maybe longer. He can confirm. But I've been getting my hair cut there since I guess I won't anymore because I just went bald, shaved my head. But I've been getting my hair cut there since I was about 10 years old. And I'd never spoken to Mike prior to 3 years ago. Because I always just saw him as kind of like, the intimidating New Yorker at the front desk who tells you, which barber to go to. So I'd never spoken to him until 3 years ago, after getting my haircut from my boy Jeff. Shout out Jeff if he's in the chat. But I was on my way to the restroom and I saw that the door to the storage area was open. And I poked my head in and I saw Big Mike there with his shirt off, painting a Van Gogh inspired Biggie piece. And I was just floored. Like I just saw this guy as like the manager of Astor Place Barbershop, not much more to it than that. But when I saw this, I was like, holy shit, what's going on? So I used it as an opportunity to speak to him. And he was just so happy to talk about his art. And he basically told me that, he's always wanted to paint, and kept making excuses not to. He was too busy. Too much stuff got in the way. He was always at work. And he told me that he just decided that he was going to start painting on his lunch break for 45 minutes every day. And I just thought that was amazing. And I was so lucky to catch him at the beginning of this. So I would come by the shop like every few weeks to check up on him. And slowly but surely, he just amassed this crazy gallery of paintings. And about a year later, I approached him to do a documentary. And I actually took a page out of his book because, I had always wanted to make these passion projects. I used to do them years ago, but I had stopped because work just got in the way. And I had the mindset that I just like needed to get paid for everything I did. So to take the time out and even take money out of my own pocket to make a film was just like, out of the question. But because Mike, this dude, you know, pushing 60 years old, just decided one day that he was going to start painting and make time, was very inspiring to me. So I made the short, and which you're about to see, and it went very, very well.
Was this the first documentary short that you sort of did on your own?
It was the first passion, because, you know, I do docs and like branded content for a living, but it's usually stuff that, you know, other people ask me to do. But this was the first doc that I had made, you know, through my own volition, in a while. Like I hadn't done something, you know, for myself for like 3 or 4 years. And, you know, I have a large following on Instagram, so I had this built-in following of people who would watch the film after I made it, and thanks to them, you know, it made the noise that it did. You know, Mike got his own. I mean, Mike has taken off since the film. He was written up in the New York Times. You know, Mike will speak more to his accolades, but, you know, he has solo shows in Soho now. He sells his work for a lot of money. So he's crushing it.
Awesome. And so tell me a little bit about how Treasures in the Trash started out. What inspired you to go out and make that?
So my buddy Charlie Eisenbach, who's a DSNY employee, reached out to me one day, and he was like, "Yo, there's this guy who has a museum of garbage in Harlem. Do you want to go?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." So he took me, and I didn't expect much at all. But when I got there, I was just blown away by his collection, which you will see shortly. And I didn't go thinking that I would want to make a documentary, you know, out of this. But after I finished my visit there, I hit up Nelson about making this documentary. He was like, "Oh, you can't go through me. You got to go through DSNY." So I had to go through DSNY, and there were some hurdles, but eventually, you know, thanks to Big Mike's film and some of the other films I made, they gave me permission to make it, and couldn't be happier.
Yeah, well, I'm super excited to watch both of these films. I think it's, you know, especially timely to watch a film, you know, featuring you know, people in
essential workers,
the unsung heroes of essential workers.
Unsung
for sure.
Heroes, absolutely.
So I think this will be an awesome time to get acquainted with some of them, and you know, and we'll talk to these guys after the film. So I think we can let's roll into it now, and we'll be back on after they both air with the subjects of the docs to have another conversation.
Sweet. Enjoy, guys.
Yeah, enjoy it. We'll be in the chat. Talk to us. Let us know.
My name is Michael Saviello, also known as Big Mike. I'm the manager at Astor Place Haircutters. Messed it up. My name is Michael Saviello, manager at Astor Place Haircutters, also known as Big Mike.
Mixed up the order a little bit. So you remember, hey Mike, my name is Michael Saviello, also known as Big Mike, and I'm the manager of Astor Place. Come on, you've been there 38 years. How are you gonna?
My name is Michael Saviello, also known as Big Mike, manager at Astor Place Hairstylist.
You got it. Let's try it one more time though.
Astor. For Dominic, for when? Thursday. What time? You got a 3? 3:30? 3. What's your name? Miriam? Mary. All right, just a haircut, right? No color, no anything. 3 o'clock? 3 o'clock Thursday, Mary. All right, you're welcome. Take care.
How many times do you think you've answered that phone?
Millions. Hundreds of times a day, for sure. At least. 100 times a day, times 350 days a year, times 37. Do the math. Forget about it.
This is the most pictured sign in Manhattan. Every tourist, everybody who comes there loves this sign because it's funny because it's true. We have people from all over the world. I call this the United Nations of haircutters over here. You know, when you don't know the people from other cultures, you're not going to understand them. You're going to think they're crazy. They think we're crazy. But when you work together, that's where really peace can be made. So that's what has to be done in the world. It's a microcosm of Astor Place. Everybody comes there. It's like when they come to New York City, they're out of town. I'll tell you, everybody, all the hotels, they all tell them, go to Astor Place, go to this place to get the haircut. So that's a good deal. So that's why a lot of people come down here. This is me and Tatum Channing. It was funny. He comes in. He was a little drunk, I would say. He had a couple of beers. And he was talking, and he's like, and I'm looking at him. I said, man, is that Tatum Channing, right? What's that? Tatum Channing? No, Tatum Channing. Channing Tatum. I always get his name mixed up. And here's another funny story. Macaulay Culkin came in, 8 o'clock Sunday morning. He comes in, and he was, look at his face right there. I was like, man, you okay, buddy? He says, yeah, I got to go home. And next thing I know, next day it was in the paper, he was going to rehab.
Want the beer too?
Yeah.
Giovanni! Straight back, all the way back. It's a funny story. My godfather used to work here, and I graduated college. I'm home, so I'm just sitting there, and my godfather came to get coffee at my father's house, and I guess that's when Astor Place started blowing up, and he goes, what are you doing? To me. I said, what are you doing? I said, I'll come pick you up tomorrow, 6 o'clock, you come work with me. I was outside. When they called the names, I used to get the guy and bring him in. I was like, looking at this place, and it was just mayhem. I just came and started working, and next thing you know, 1 week went into a month, 1 month went into, and then I liked it, they liked me, and the next thing you know, I've been here 37 years. I only came to work for 2 weeks, that's my story. I would say Speedy's been here at least 25 years, right, Speedy? Never too long. Yeah, Speedy's one of our greatest characters that cuts hair here. That's
That motherfucker's still trying to kill me after 28 years.
No cursing now. Valentine, how many years have you been here? 50? Almost 50, probably. Never misses work. Valentino, I've been here every year. I've been here. Maybe it only takes when we're close. That's it. One time went to the hospital for one day and came home. He came from the hospital, came to work the next day.
Hilary Swank. Hilary Swank, I got her hair for Boy Don't Cry.
Yeah? Boy Don't Cry, yeah. Wow. The man that's been here for 40 years.
40 years.
How many years you been here?
I'm 5 years old now.
You've been here before me? No, after me. About 36 years probably, right?
About 30 years.
My brother used to work upstairs. So this station was upstairs, right? All these pictures, just the way it is. And when we told him that we were going to close upstairs and come downstairs, Alberto was in mourning. He looked at it, he's like, I can't. Well, we have to because we got to come downstairs. What we're going to do? One by one, we took all the pictures down from upstairs. So this is a recreation. The whole thing, the way it is here, was upstairs, which is pretty amazing when you look at it.
How old are you, 75?
75.
75 years old, still cutting hair, comes to work every day, still got the eyes. Look at these designs he does, still to this day. That's the one, 2009, that's when the Giants were in the Super Bowl. I was telling when we did the shows, when we cut the Yankee hair on the sidewalk, remember? When they won the World Series, they had their truck, they made us plug in to their truck and we were cutting hair, they were filming us right during the parade.
All the channels. I remember when I did Channel 1, Channel 2, Channel 5, Channel 7.
Benny did everything.
Channel 11. And we went to New Jersey for Channel 9.
Hey, what are you guys up to, man?
My man Steve over
A documentary on mine? Yeah. This is what I'd love to do. I want to lynch that fat boy, man.
Wow.
What's wrong about
You heard
that?
what he just said? You heard what he just said?
What's wrong with that, guys? Let's turn the table for a second.
I'll tell you what, whatever he says, nonsense. Just totally nonsense. Don't listen to anything he says.
I would like to
Whatever he
experience
says
what
is
it's
the
like
opposite.
to lynch a
It's
fat
the
white
opposite.
guy, man.
Mexico, ¿qué pasa, Mexico?
Another day in paradise. This is my lunchtime. A couple months ago, it was actually last April. It was right before my birthday.
I always had a picture of my wife that I loved. And I said, I'm gonna paint that. I had paints in my house for literally 30 years in a box. I took them here. I was gonna go buy a canvas. And I walked out one day right on Broadway, and there was a big canvas that had like a unicorn spray painted on it. It said free. It was like a message. Come one night, I was ready to paint. I was so tired. I was like 10 o'clock at night. I said, this is not the right time. So then I came back one lunchtime. I started painting like last April, and haven't stopped.
Hey, there he is.
Hey, what's up, brother?
What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Oh, look at this. I love that you're just set up in the shed area.
Yeah,
this is great. Wow.
Mexico. Oh, no música. No música. No música. Yeah, I'm filming. Okay? Yes. Okay? Gracias. All right.
Karaoke? Very nice.
I only come paint back here at lunchtime. I take my shirt off, I bring my wine, I bring my little snack that I see, my sandwich. I sit down and I paint. And this is based on The Kiss, famous painting. Obviously, that's me, a good painting of me, and my wife. The week before my birthday, we found out my wife had breast cancer. My wife, when she did radiation and chemo, we cut all off her hair, and she wore that scarf on her head. That was the exact one she wore, the blue with the red and everything. And that basically is me telling her, protecting her from cancer. That's cancer death, and that's the phoenix, that she's gonna be reborn again. And I'm protecting her from death and from cancer, so don't worry about nothing. And the lion is everybody, and she's the lamb, that she could sleep peacefully. The lamb always sleeps peacefully, the lion's gonna protect her no matter what. So I gotta put my painting shirt on. Are you filming this too?
Yes.
Oh my God. I got some serious chi-chis. First thing I do when I come back here, I pour a glass of wine. I sit here and I look at my painting.
Oh my God, Mike. Dude.
You like that?
Dude, give me a hug.
Holy
shit.
So,
Wow.
You got some ambition, motherfucker. I like you, man.
I always wanted to paint, and I was thinking, and then there was a customer came in. He's my age, same thing, kids, the whole thing, and stockbroker, well off, but he said, I always wanted to write, and I wrote a book. A couple months later, next thing you know, it's one of the best sellers, and it blew up. So then at the same time, I wanted to paint, I'm thinking, why? You're never too old to do anything, You don't have time, you gotta make time. So I said, I'm gonna come here at lunchtime and paint. I'm gonna do it. That's what I'm gonna do. I started painting, and after I did my first painting, my wife and Rafi came in. I said, Rafi, come over here. I want to show you something. You see this painting here? I wanted to do it, but you put me over the edge. I said, he wrote a book. I'm gonna do a painting. That's all you gotta do. You gotta make time somehow, even if it's 45 minutes a day. That's it.
Speaking of which, what time is it?
I know, but I gotta get back. Well, 10 after 3. I'm out of here. Glad having lunch with you guys. I didn't even get to eat. Not bad. All right. That's enough now. I gotta get back to work. All right, guys. Nice meeting you. So you like your painting or what? All right, back to the real world. So that was it, my lunchtime. My time, I paint. I hope you liked it. Hope you enjoyed it. And if anybody wants a painting out there, come see me.
It's just me.
No goodies. There we go. This is a good book. I usually look inside. Sometimes you move these there, you find money inside. Speakers. Shoe oil. Can you imagine that? It's brand new. Yeah, full to the top. That's going to the collection. That's going with my other stuff. Well, today is 4/28, which will be my last working day, New York City Department of Sanitation. This is the last time I'm going to be on this truck. Okay, so this is it.
Did Nelson make the job more fun for you?
You know what? Every day, off the job, on the job, whether it was on the route, in the garage, it was always fun. It hasn't been the same since he left.
Well, you didn't lose him entirely. It seems like he's here.
He's always here. He's part of the face still. Absolutely.
Hear that noise? Let's see what it is. Good pickup today. My name is Nelson Molina, and I was sanitation worker for 34 years. I was hired in 1981, and I retired in 2015. But I come to the garage 3 days a week to take care of this massive collection of things that me and my coworkers found throughout the years.
This is my man. Way back, we go back, way back, 30 years.
30 years is the man. What's up, buddy? Woo-wee. Co-workers. All right, so this is cigarettes. Every morning we take him out for a drag. He's our mascot. We have him here like 19 years. I used to say, stay, and he would just stay there. Roll over. And he would roll over. He just sits here and he guards the garage. And so that's cigarettes. It's really not a museum yet. We can't call it a museum because it's in an active garage, so it's not open to the public. So we just call it Treasures in the Trash. It's about 45,000 pieces here, just picked up out of the garbage. I bought it in because I didn't want to throw it out or have it go to a landfill or incinerate or something. So I just picked it up and put it on the side. I was told never to throw anything out if it can be used and give it another life. When I was a kid, I would go out and pick things out of the garbage that people were throwing out. Old toys, broken toys, and I would just take everything. Because we didn't get much for Christmas, so I would pick all these toys up and I would bring home and I would try to fix them and everything. So I was like Santa Claus to my brothers and sisters. We used to get these in McDonald's for the kids. That's the box, and I got them all in here.
All Inspector Gadget?
Yeah, this is all the separate pieces. You put them all together. So you put one arm, you put a leg in. First subcollection would be the toys, because I had so many of it. So I took out a table, I set the table up, and I put all these toys on there. And then I just went to table 2, maybe some records, table 3, some cameras, because I had boxes full of all these things. This here is from 1911. It's supposed to be some kind of a postcard projection. Each one of these Furbies are all different. Got all the beepers in here. This is a phone. The arm comes up, So this is a souvenir piece from the 3rd Avenue L. It's a signed book by Lena Horne, and it says, most sincere Lena Horne, November 1965. And I found this 117th Street and Park Avenue with a bunch of other books. Then you got all your games. You got your Sony PlayStation 1, Nintendo 64, you got your Wii, you got your GameCube. It's all here. This bear's worth $450. And there's a letter from the White House. I mean, I look at this, if they can throw that out, they can throw this out, they can throw anything out. Laveda! Laveda!
You hear that?
Yeah, 10 minutes and we out. So we worry.
I had a fortunate pleasure of seeing him in action. He never ceased to amaze me. How he had the eye, the uncanny eye to, find these treasures. Well, I'm working, I'm throwing the bag. He be like, oh, what's up, man?
Okay.
Look at you. I see your spidey senses were working today.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna put it on the table and check it out.
Yeah, big catch today. Hey.
It's called The Vampire's Hunter's Handbook. This is definitely going into the collection. And that's the procedure, going out, picking it up, cleaning it, and placing it into the museum, where it's got to go. This is where it all started in here, where I started putting stuff up. I started putting the shelves up, started putting stuff on the shelf. One guy moved out, he said, Nelson, I don't fit in here in this room. Then I started putting more shelves up, and then the other guy left. And then I ended up having the room by myself, so I just filled it all up with all this stuff in here. Then I went outside the room. I went right into the men's locker room. It just kept getting bigger, where I had to move into the garage. Lamberti, what's up? Laveda, what's up? This is my son Nelson, what's up?
I'm good.
Everything good? Good day?
He started in 1981. I was born in 1982, so I've been around this garage my whole life. He was the only worker in the family, and he had 6 kids, 3 boys, 3 girls. So what he provided for the family, I said, you know what, when I get older, that job right there is provided for me my whole life. And, I wanted to provide for my family.
This is one of the greatest jobs in the world. It's one of the, I'm proof of it. It's one of the greatest jobs. Raised 6 kids, all doing good.
What do you think about all the recent success he's seen with this collection?
I think it's well deserved. I think it's something that I feel like the people in this neighborhood should be able to see this. It's a long time coming for him. I know it's like his child. I don't think he ever wanted it to be what it was. It just became that.
I would have never thought of what it turned into. I just thought, let me just pick it up, let me just hang things up. Nobody comes in here, nobody knows this is here, exists. One day it was just people calling, you got the newspapers, you got TV, you got all kinds of people want to do films and everything, and it just started growing. I didn't want to be interviewed because I've never been interviewed for anything. And what I want to see happen to this collection is put into a museum where the people can come in and see it. People go to a museum, they see these artifacts. I don't think people go to see a museum of what a sanitation worker picks out of the garbage that New York is thrown out every single day.
How are you?
Good, good, good. Find anything for me?
Not today, unfortunately, but next time I will.
Before you throw something out, think about it. Everything can have a home.
Boom. I think you're muted, David.
Oh, you're right. My bad. Dude, that was great, man. I could watch.
I think you're muted. David. Oh shit! I should put that on mute.
Oh, you're right. That was great.
Sorry, there was a lag. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Shout out to Big Mike and Nelson Molina, the legends.
That was great, man. I could watch that.
Oh shit! I should put that on mute. That was sorry. There was a lag. Thank you. Yo, mute your shit, David. Shout out to,
is yours muted?
Mine.
Hey.
Sorry, there's a lag. Oh, I think Mike and Nelson should mute their videos.
Is yours muted?
Hey. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Can you hear me?
A lot of feedback.
I can hear you.
Fucking my headphones.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Can you hear me?
A lot of feedback. Fucking my headphones.
Oh, God. Hey, what's up, guys?
Yo.
No. Hey, what's up, guys? I shut my phone off.
Yo.
Yeah. All right, we got it.
We see you?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right, we got it.
We see you?
Yeah.
Hey.
We see you?
Yeah.
Yo, Nelson and Mike, turn the sound off on your computer.
You want me to turn the sound off?
Yeah, on your computer.
Yeah.
Nico, everything's off on his side. Everything's off.
Okay,
He has
cool.
nothing on.
We can't hear anything now.
Perfect.
The sound off?
Yeah, on your computer.
They're gonna click me on. That's why.
Everything's
Okay, cool.
But then we can't hear anything. Hold on.
Perfect.
The sound off? You want me to shut my sound off?
All right, I think we're going through, right? Can you guys hear me? Let me know in the Twitch chat if you guys can hear me.
I can hear you clear here.
Same. I can hear you.
All right, awesome. So Nelson, man, that was awesome. Nico's on the audio too. He'll be in and out of the video, so I think we got most of this sorted out. So I'm just gonna ask you a couple questions, man, because that was a really awesome documentary, and I've seen it now probably 5-10 times. It's just as good every time, and I think the reason it's so good and the reason that all of Nico's content is so good is because it's so real. I mean, you didn't set out to create this amazing museum of trash. You just started doing what you wanted to do because you wanted to do it, right? And I think that's also true with Big Mike. It's also true with Nico. I mean, Nico didn't set out to go and do these things. He just started telling stories about things that were inspiring him. And that's what people love, right? It's when you're doing something you're passionate about. It doesn't matter why you're doing it. You're not doing it for other people. You're doing it for yourself. And people want to see other people doing that. And I think especially right now, it's a time where you can just do things for you. And if you're passionate about something, now's the time to go out and do it. Which leads me to my first question is, Nelson, please tell me you are taking a break from the collecting right now, given the current health risks involved. Please tell me that.
Yes, I am. I can't go to the garage. It's hurting me and everything because I got a couple of things that I found in the neighborhood inside my car that I want to bring over there. But I just can't go. They don't want nobody in the garage. The less people that are in the garage, the better. For my safety, my family's safety.
Absolutely, that's the right.
It's hurting me, but it's something that we just got to do.
Absolutely, but you know what? When this is all over, you'll get right back to it. We all know that, and so I'm glad you're being safe and taking care of, making the right decision, being safe, taking care of the family, making sure everybody's all right.
Yeah.
So I have a couple questions. People are asking some questions in the Twitch chat. So my first question is, what's the most valuable thing that you've got in the collection? You talked about the $400 bear, but what else you got in there?
Well, there's a few stained glass that came from the church on 96th Street on Park in Lexington Avenue. And I found these one day. I went out, it was raining and everything, and I opened up these black bags, and they had these stained glass in there. They were pretty big stained glass, size of a window. And the reason why these things were thrown out is because they started building high-rises around the church. So I get no sunlight was going through these buildings, through these windows. So I guess they boarded up the window, they took them down, and they just threw them out. And I had to unfold them. When I found them, they were folded. So I had to unfold them, open them up, carefully and everything. They didn't break and everything. And then I found these easels, and I set them up on these easels. So I got like 5 of them.
Amazing.
From 1895. These are originals from the 1895 from the church.
Wow.
So they're like 125 years old.
Yeah, like that's a legit museum piece, period. I mean, exactly. You can't put a value on that. Like who knows? So that's my next question is, how can the public go see this? Is there anything in process to make this open to the public? Because this is something that, I think New Yorkers and tourists alike would love to go see. I know I've always been interested. So what's the deal with that? Make this open to the public.
Well, have to register with
this is something that
it's called New York Strongest. On your phone. And you call up and you register with the
and mute and unmute yourself and just watch this one for video.
And you can also register with New York City Adventure Tour. The only 2 places that you can go to, yeah.
Okay. And is it going to stay that way, or is there plans to really make it like public where the people can just show up or get a ticket or whatever?
Well, it's going to stay like that for a while until they find a place for the collection.
Okay.
So you have to register. You can't go from the street and just go upstairs and see it.
So is there a plan to move it to somewhere that is public, or is it? I mean, to me, it's like it kind of has to be there. Like that's its home.
That's it.
Yeah. That's it. You can't move it. Like that's home.
You walk in there and you see it. You see the paint falling from the ceiling and everything. It's just so perfect for it.
So your son works for DSNY now. Is he in that office, in the same office where the collection is every day?
Well, he was there for about 4 years. He was the foreman there in the garage. Imagine this kid, my son. He was born and raised in this garage, and he ended up running the garage. So he's now a lieutenant with the New York City Sanitation Department, Police Department. He's a lieutenant. He's in training now. He's at the academy. But he's on the job for at least 14, 15 years now.
Amazing, man. And that's how it should be. It's like a fairy tale ending to the story, right?
Yeah.
Like started this collection and then your son's there running things there too. That's amazing, man. Can you tell us are there any like crazy stories where you thought you found something and it ended up not being what you thought it was or anything like that?
Many times I went through something like that where I opened up a bag and I had my glove and I put my hand in spaghettis or pasta or something that came out. But there was something in there that I needed to take out. So I ended up taking it out anyway, and then I took it to the garage and cleaned it all off and everything. But I sometimes you find feces in the bags or you find a dead animal inside the bag or something like that,
Yeah. So Nico, tell me a little bit about are you there? Can you hear me?
Yo, I'm here.
Can you tell me a little bit about the process making the documentary? I mean, you talked to a number of people and you had the guy who knew Nelson, but can you tell me, about some of the other people you met, the way they looked at this collection and the process of obtaining it?
They don't hear me. What do I do?
Sorry, I'm hearing some voices in my ear. Can you repeat that, David?
I just, you talked to a lot of people making that doc about Nelson and about the collection. Tell us some of the insights that the people around the collection have and how they feel about it. It seems like it's a
I mean, I had the pleasure of meeting all of Nelson's people, a lot of whom ended up in the doc, and they're all just so fascinated by what Nelson does, and I can only imagine working in the same garage as this museum. Like it, a lot of them feel like it's theirs, as much as it is Nelson's. Like they look after it, they make sure nothing gets taken, they make sure it's clean and safe, and it's like a big family there. But yeah, met a lot of cool people. I love sanitation workers. They're the best. They truly are the unsung heroes of New York. They don't get nearly as much respect as they deserve.
Yeah, only at WoHop at 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So Nelson, tell me. I mean, I know you were doing a lot of like media, TV, things like that. But I believe this was sort of like the first attempt at the first documentary you made about the collection. Was it easy for you to let Nico in and talk about things and introduce him to your family and talk to your family about the collection and what it's been?
Yeah. Well, when I first met Nico, I met his one of his coworkers too, Charlie Ivanback, and we talked. I think I met Charlie. He came into the garage. I don't know if he was working that day or he came to the garage because he wanted to do this documentary. So I met Charlie and everything, and Charlie looked around. I took him around, and he took pictures and everything. Then I met Nico. Nico came in and everything, and this is what it became, man. Nico, I'm telling you, this is a great guy, man. I'm telling you, man.
I know well.
He seems to make people famous, He goes out there, he catches these people, things that they love to do and everything. So when I met Nico and everything, and Nico showed me some pictures, he said, "Nelson, look at these short films that I made. I want you to look at them so you can see what I'm all about and everything." So I said, "Okay, Nico, cool, man." And I saw the films and everything. Once I saw the films, I said, "Bro, this Nico's the man. He's got to come and do a documentary over here. He's definitely got to do a documentary." So I spoke to the sanitation department. I spoke to the chief mullers and all the people over there and everything. I gave him all the information and everything, and he got the okay, man, to come
Awesome.
and do it. And I was so happy about it. I mean, I was a little nervous and everything because I'm not used to talking, film people interviewing me and stuff like that and everything. But Nico made it so easy for me, him and his crew. They made it so easy.
And your personality comes through, you're not trying to be anything but you in the film, and that's obvious, and it's you're a likable guy, man. Like, watch that film. I want to give you and your family a hug every time I see it, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So one other question, man. Do you have any other sanitation workers carrying this tradition on? Are there other people who are doing the same thing and adding to the collection, or is it just you?
Well, sometimes the guys come and bring some stuff. And so I used to go there like 3 days a week, 2 days a week, because I live so close to the garage. And every time I went there, I always found something that the guys found, picked up, and put it there for me and everything. But I take care of everything. I clean, I vacuum, I take care of I dust. I put whatever they bring. I check it out to make sure that everything that they bring is appropriate for the museum, because there's certain things that I can't take. And so if it's something that I can't take, I put it back out and recycle the garbage. But I take care of everything. I take care of the hanging up the pictures and putting everything together and fixing them. I mean, I get things that are broken and I put them together. Some of the paintings, some of the posters and everything, I put glass on them. I, cut glass out and I put new glass on everything. And all my hardware, my tools and everything, all found in the garbage. So everything is found in the garbage. I don't buy anything. Amazing. If I do need something and I go and buy it, the next day I go out, I do my route and I find it. And I just bought it. So I always find everything I need in the garbage.
Amazing. Talk about an eco-friendly business, right?
Exactly.
All upcycled.
Yeah.
Nico, did you have anything you wanted to talk to Nelson about real quick?
No, I mean, I recently spoke to Nelson. We kind of updated each other. But yeah, man, I just I just want him to be. I know that when he's walking down the street and he sees something interesting in the garbage, he's gonna wanna fucking dig through it. But he knows he knows to be careful.
Yeah,
Nelson Jr. and yeah.
My senses will go off. And
Nelson Jr. and his wife is making sure.
So it's cool.
I know. I mean, he was a sanitation worker for 34 years. I think Nelson knows how to be careful.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, guys, Nico, Nelson, thank you both so much for talking about Treasures in the Trash. It's a super inspiring story. I think especially right now when, everybody's got time to pursue their passions and do it for the right reasons. And, I hope everybody can walk away from this, having learned something from Nelson and are inspired by it, because if you can make a museum out of, going about your day and pulling things out of the trash, there's damn near nothing you can't do, guys. So go out and do it. You got the time, you got the energy, go out and do it. Nelson, thank you so much. Can we get Mike on here now and ask some questions?
Yeah, can you hear? Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Get Hillary. Can you hear me?
Yep. Hear you loud and clear.
All right. You see me?
Yes.
All right, we're good. Let's go.
I see the beautiful art behind you. So
yes, my little home studio.
Yeah. Are you at the lunch studio right now? Or
No. That's closed. This is my house. These are all my paintings I did since I've been here for the last 4 weeks.
Nice. A lot of time to paint, I'm sure.
Yeah, a lot of time to paint. Yeah, so got no job, so I got to paint.
So that's a job, man. That's a job. So
this is my little kitchen. This is the kitchen table. My wife, she's a school teacher. Shout out to her. She's doing a great job working online. It's really tough. And so she sits on one side of the table and she does her thing, and I sit on the other side and I just paint. I look outside my door here and watch the animals go by, and so it's like I feel like I'm retired, just keep my wife at home all day.
Temporarily, we're all retired.
Yeah, temporary retirement. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's good to hear that your wife is doing well, man. After hearing the story in the film, I'm really glad to hear she's doing well.
It was a long journey, and but she's doing well now. It's still, we still gotta do our thing and watch everything, but she's doing great right now. Thank you.
Amazing. And that painting of you and her is absolutely beautiful. Was that one of the earlier paintings you did when you started taking the lunch break?
Yeah, that was actually like my third painting. I did the first painting, that big painting of my wife with the sunflowers, and that was the first painting I did. And right after I showed it to her, the next week we went into the doctor, and she found out she had breast cancer. So I was like, oh my God, I was so happy. I started painting, and then then the world just collapsed right there. And I was like, what the hell's going on, But But I decided, like, you know what? I'm just going to keep painting. I'm going to make an inspiration painting for her. You know, she was going to start chemo at the end of May. And so that was our favorite painting, is the kiss. And I had the idea, so we'll put the kiss together, and that was cancer. I'm protecting her from cancer, and she's going to be the phoenix and be reborn again. And she's the lamb, I'm the lion. Don't worry about everything. Take care. So I showed her that, like, right before she went to chemo, and that cheered her up. And yeah, so it's just art is inspiration. All art is inspiration. So no matter where you get it from, it's all you get bad inspiration and good inspiration. So it all comes out in the paintings.
Absolutely, and it's a beautiful painting. And again, like, I think what ties both of these films together and Nico's story as well is just that, like, it's real, right? It's real, and it's done for personal reasons, not for profit, not for business, not for anything else.
Exactly. Like Nelson did what he did, just for himself, And I always wanted to paint my whole life. I knew I could paint. I was a kid. I used to go to Italy and see all this artwork, and I was impressed, but I like, wow, I could do that. That's what, and I always knew I could do it for some reason, So I wasn't like, I was impressed, but I knew I could do it, and I always wanted to do it. But life goes by, stuff to make a living being an artist. So and then but right now, so I said, you know what, that guy wrote the book, and I know him, and he's been working. He read the book in the middle of the night. I said, I'm going to start painting no matter what, and I just did it. I did it for myself. I always wanted to paint my wife's that picture. I actually took that picture 5 years ago, and I just painted it like 2.5 years ago. And I said, if I ever start painting, that's going to be the first painting I do, And so it took me 2.5 years just to get that on the canvas after deciding I was going to paint. Still took 2.5 years. But now I'm in a groove now. Now I paint every day. Like, not every day. When I work 5 days a week, I paint. That's why
you did all that behind you in the last 4 weeks?
Yeah, so I've been here painting at home for the last 4 weeks. I usually at work I just paint for an hour, but here now I paint for a couple hours. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think for most of us, the decision to actually just start doing the thing that we've always wanted to do is the hardest part, right?
Exactly.
Once you made up your mind,
I had the idea I wanted to paint for like 30 years, and I never did it. And yeah, that's the hardest part, just doing it, Yeah, that's the hardest part. Once you get doing it, you have the passion, it's easy.
Working on a painting versus 30 years wanting to paint, there's a big difference there,
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So, I hope anybody watching this who's got a thing that they've wanted to do takes this time and opportunity when we're sort of stuck at home on pause to just go out and do what they want to do, whatever that project is.
I'm going to tell you the most, since Nick made the movie, and I had a lot of articles written about me, and a lot of media came in, Channel 5 News, Channel 11 News, all these media came in, and then the New York Times wrote a big article on me. But out of all that, the most impressive and the most satisfying thing to me out of all this is the inspiration I gave to other people. You don't know how many people text me, write me, and always tell me, oh my God, you're such an inspiration. I always wanted to do something, and I just started doing. I saw your story, and people have been texting me from all over the world saying, I just started doing this, I just started doing that. I always wanted to do this, and that's the most satisfying. You can believe that. Like, I can't believe I'm an inspiration for somebody. That's crazy to me, but it's the most satisfying thing of this whole thing. But I guess just to know somebody else did something that they always wanted to do makes me happy.
Mike, add me to the list, man, because after this conversation, after watching that film again, if I don't wake up tomorrow and do something I've been putting off, I owe you something, because there's
yeah, you gotta do it, yes.
I got a couple questions for you. So first question is, where is that painting you did of Nico now?
It's in my gallery at the shop right now, in that back room, the one you saw on the documentary. So
all right, we might have to. I'm obviously up to you, but we would love to be able to auction that off for some COVID relief efforts. If you're open to it, if Nico's open to it, we'd love to be able to do that. I'm sure there's a lot of people watching who would love that painting.
Yeah, if you auction it off, put it. That would be absolutely fantastic. And,
all right. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that for sure. Okay. So also, like, it seems like you're surrounded by a ton of really interesting characters every day at the shop.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure there's some inspiration for paintings that you witness every day there. Talk little bit about the people that you work with. I'm sure this has affected that business greatly. Talk a little bit about the people and what's going on now.
Yeah, Astor Place has to be one of the most unique places to work. And when I first started working there, is 40 years ago now. I just went there because my godfather was working there, and we went from like 20 barbers right into like 45 barbers, and they needed help. And I just happened to be home from college, and I had a pizzeria, and I closed the pizzeria, and I was home just I was gonna do my next move, and he comes, "Oh, you got to come with me." I said, "What are you talking about?" I walked in there, and it was just a madhouse. It was just craziness, and the characters, the barbers in there are just they're like all from. It's like I call it the United Nations. There's every nationality in there. There's barbers from all over the world there, and all different cultures, all different backgrounds, and and you learn. What I learned from them is worth ethic. These they come from countries where they've been poor and they've been oppressed, and they come here and all they want to do is work. Sometimes people make fun of them, but when you come from a place where you had like a piece of bread all week to eat, and now you have a chance to make money, you make money. That's what you do. You work. And a lot of people look down at them, but you know what? They're an inspiration to me. When I realized I grew up here, and we don't know how good we have it here. So, to everybody out there, you see people working hard and doing what they have to do. You just got to, everybody has a story. So everybody's got a story. So I want everybody to respect that. You should respect that story, respect that culture, respect their backgrounds, because you don't know. Until you walked in their shoes, you don't know what they've been through. So that's the biggest lesson I learned at Astor Place. And then the customers, we have customers coming in, literally, the governor of New York, and to the poorest person in New York that comes in there, a shoeless that wants a haircut. So we have everything. Everybody comes to Astor Place, women, men, all ages, all cultures, all types of haircut, and they're all getting their haircut in one place. It's not a shop like where it's just young kids or people, just old kids. He's like, all over the world. Everybody's there, and it's just amazing. And all kinds of, we have hedge fund workers coming from Wall Street.
And that's like, it's a microcosm of what New York City is. What makes New York City great? Because what's amazing about New York City is you can go to a place like that, like your shop, and meet some of the richest and some of the poorest people in the world, people from all over the world, and learn from those different cultures, from those different experiences. And that's what makes New York incredible. And it's places like that where all of those worlds collide that really make New York a special place. That's just not, it's just not happening anywhere else,
You can't explain New York City and Astor Place. It's just, people don't understand what's going on there,
That's the best way to do it.
Robert De Niro getting a haircut right next to a young kid, like it's nothing. Like it's
But, Nico, you there still?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, Nico. So I got to ask you a serious question, man. I'm a little shocked because I feel like Big Mike and Nelson both could have given Charlie a run for his money in Best New York Accent Competition. I want to know why you guys didn't submit. They're both incredible.
They both have amazing New York accents. Nelson didn't submit, so that's not my fault. Mike submitted, but I couldn't give it to him because people were saying it was really unfair that I selected a lot of my friends. So, Mike, I'm sorry. I had a feeling that Mike wouldn't.
All I don't know how I didn't win the Wayne Diamond one.
Oh my God!
I wasn't even in the top three,
Diamond,
man. I went all out on that one, man.
Shout out to Wayne Diamond.
Seriously. Well, guys, seriously, thank you so much for joining us and sharing that story with us. Nico, thanks for making it. Big Mike, thanks for living it and creating it.
Can I say one thing? I want to definitely auction off that piece, New York Nico. Will get back to me. Tell me you auction it off. It's at the shop. Whenever it's done, we'll go pick it up and we'll ship it or we'll bring it to somebody. And then if anybody wants to look at my artwork right now, I'm in the galleries at Dollhouse2 on my Instagram. You can see all my stuff, and I have a virtual gallery right now going on there. So if anybody wants to take a view of my stuff up close.
Amazing. I'm gonna post your link in the chat right now.
Thank you so much.
So
Guys,
you can check out Big Mike's work, and it's all for sale on that site. It is beautiful. So go support amazing people doing amazing things, you know. And if you've watched those 2 documentaries and you've heard this conversation, you should feel like you can be one of those amazing people making amazing things too, guys. So thanks for tuning in, Nico. Thank you so much, Big Mike, Nelson. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Story.
Nelson,
Can I give thanks to somebody here, please? I want to thank a couple of people.
Absolutely.
Don't mind, yes. First, I want to thank the New York City Department of Sanitation for doing a great job with this. Manhattan East 11, my garage where I come from. The Foundation of New York Strongest. I want to thank Maggie Lee, Julian Raskins, Chief Mullis, Nico. I'm telling you, you're number one, Nico. Charlie Eichenbach, Joe Bressler, Cleo Fuzz, only New York Clothing for making this amazing shirt that I got on. And to my amazing family. And also I want to thank you, Stimulus TV, for screening my film. I really appreciate it, man.
Nelson, we love
you guys. Mike, I'm going to make an appointment one day with you guys.
Nelson. Yeah. When we get open, you got to come see me, Nelson.
Thank you guys for everything, man. I really appreciate it, man. All you guys. Stay safe.
Always.
Likewise.
Love you guys.
Thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned to Stimulus. We'll have some more awesome programming coming up starting Wednesday. We're off tomorrow. We'll be back Wednesday. Tune in. Thank you guys so much. Love you guys. Stay safe.